So I wanted to talk about the components of health besides food. And I want to talk about it based on two personal examples, very recent personal examples. You've been witnessing how I'm struggling here with my throat issue, with a bit of cough too. Yeah, I'm happy to have had this 5-minute break to help my body to feel better. So I can talk again. But it's been going on for 2 months now. I have this cough. And I have this throat issue. And guess what? I've covered a couple of areas in my ways of treating it. I've been to the homeopath, which found out that I still had some residue of the unresolved issues, which my mother had. And I have it in my body, so it wanted to surface through my throat and lungs. So I was addressing that, and I got a little bit better, but just a little, just to keep me going and searching for new solutions again. I was taking herbs. I've been taking our immune and lung detox herbs to support my lungs and immune system. It helped a little again, didn't solve the problem. Then I found out from various sources, the information was just coming into my life, that there's been a little unresolved issue, a conflict with somebody over a little territorial issue. We are human beings, we're primal. And that person has probably been not so conscious in terms of her thoughts and intentions, and sent me some energy which was making mess in my body. You know, don't have to talk about medieval times and witches. I mean, we do it to each other all the time, we're humans. I do it to others, I've done it to others. Now I really work on my thoughts, on the quality of my intentions, so to not harm others with my thoughts. And even, it's very important to know if you're energetically a little bit more developed, or you do some spiritual practices, you can be sure those intentions are much stronger. You can create life with them, you can create death with them. The thing is, you can actually focus on something and have it happen in your life. Try it. Just say now, I'm going to have a holiday in Indonesia in 3 months, for 2 weeks. And then put it as your intention. Things will start arranging themselves around it. That's even with intentions which we cannot directly influence. I'm going to build a healing center in 2 years from now. That's set intention. We can use those intentions to bring something about. But if we're not careful, we can harm people. Here in Bali, they all talk about black magic, and that's very hard to live from each other. Basically, I don't think somebody is sitting there and mixing potions. It could simply probably be that people are really, through all their ceremonies that they do and the temples and all, they develop certain inner strength, and if uncarefully they're angry with someone and send that intention the wrong way, others suffer. And here's a big issue among the Balinese people, I know that. And I know that's not only in Bali. I had the experience myself, so I worked on that one. That was not all. There was something sitting in my throat, something unresolved with somebody a year ago. So in these days I did that too, that resolution of that matter. And things got so very much easier. And then I went to the ozone clinic too, because that sinus thing has been going on, it's been chronic. So I got a treatment there, I tried it out. I didn't believe in ozone clinic or in ozone, but I tried it out this time to try it out because I hadn't tried it out before. And look, things are healing again. There was this infection which is being removed. And there's like really many things and layers, and sometimes you are blessed with something which is not so easy to solve, where you just learn on the way. And that's a learning curve, that's your lessons of life, it's great. But look at the other possibility, what we could do, and maybe that's what we have done in our lives. 90% of the time, we pop some antibiotics and painkillers. Something's coming out, bang! Take a big hammer, nail it back, right back out down in the ground, that's it. Well, then it's where things start backing up. We haven't addressed the issue. We haven't rested and taken the time for our body to relax, which is maybe telling us we haven't cleaned out what those bacteria would potentially have cleaned out of your system, that virus and what, I remember from my childhood when I had a good flu, with all this sweating in the nighttime, not able to eat, sleeping and weakened for a whole week inside the house. Then after that flu, you got out first time in the fresh sun, the fresh winter sun. Your body feels so light, your nose feels like so many more smells. The colors seem to have brightened up. Your body has gone through something, got rid of something it doesn't need, recovered, reset. That's an important process. Please take time to be sick sometimes. It's needed. And then there's other aspects. All these little things of learning your energetic lessons, the lessons of consequences, actions and consequences, all of that you learn through disease, through the difficulties in your life. So if you pop that painkiller and that anti-inflammatory and that antibiotic, look, you just back it all up. You just don't take anything of what this disease has to offer you. And then you put extra strain on your body because all the chemicals you'll be afterwards needing to purge out of your system. If not, you gain extra weight as they sit in your cells and the body is trying to self-protect itself from those chemicals. Your acidity will raise. Naturally, your liver and kidney function will go down because of the toxic load. And more, you name it. That's your choice. We've been doing that all the time. And remember, the antibiotics, they destroy everything, including the good things in the body, which is the gut flora. I mean, sorry, you cannot digest or absorb food without gut flora. It just does not work. And for 12 meters of intestines, imagine how long it actually takes to restore it. Would you be taking the right flora in every day? But our food from the supermarket, all like sprayed with chemicals, unfortunately, it does not contain those bacteria you need. So it's a big problem. To go through a course of antibiotics will take you a year to recover. You recover the normal function of your body. And meanwhile, your immunity is likely to be down, and you may get a couple of more infections where you again need antibiotics or whatever you need. Not a good thing. But that's what we do. We go to the doctor until we have to go to the hospital until they carry us out of there. Very simple. That's a choice. Maybe not a very informed choice, but it's a choice. It's a choice of 99% of inhabitants of this beautiful blue planet. So I want to also talk a little bit about another infection I was going through last year. And that's a big theme, and that's why I'm touching it here. I was having a mold infection. In fact, I was probably having it now, when I trace it back, I was probably having it since I was a little child. Because of all the events in my life, my immunity was likely to be very, very down. And mold infections, they have like a myriad of symptoms from light to heavy. So a little fatigue and lack of immunity, congested sinus and difficulty to breathe. It's just the innocent beginning of it. And because when the mold toxicity, and there's certain types of mold, the black mold for instance, when it grows in you, you're having that mold a bit in the lungs and a bit in the sinus. When that toxicity grows, when that mold grows there, thanks to the acidity of the body based on your stress, and maybe thanks to the environment, like in Bali, we have it very humid, so it's in Latvia, where we have like this dampness from the sea, about 90% of humidity even in the winter time. That's a very good environment for mold growth in the body. So, summing up a couple of life events which were not so pleasant emotionally and touched me quite deep last year, because all of us go through that. That's life, called life. I mean, you cannot choose your experience. Sometimes it just comes at you and you deal with it or you don't. So I didn't know how to deal with it. My immunity went down. My mold infection blossomed. And it was a scary thing because I saw my mental capacity disappearing. I was trying to find out what was going on. I was suspecting a tumor in the brain, and people say, hey, don't suggest yourself all these things. Please don't start self-suggesting tumors in your brain. I say, but something is going wrong. Is there anybody who can tell what's going wrong? And I didn't go for the checkup because it's in a different country. I was too tired to travel, just simply like that. I have 2 children. I mean, how can I leave everybody for like a week? And I was too weak to travel alone, so I didn't go to my checkup in Thailand. I was trying this and trying that, and well, I am very resilient. I'm here still. But I went through this terrible fear of losing my mental capacity, coordination complete. I was like a Parkinson victim at my early age within 3 months. After having had brain fog for 3 years, which I actually thought was connected to my adrenal fatigue. Not only, obviously, it was connected to the mold. And I got the combination of it, which includes depressive thoughts, suicidal thoughts, inability to function or multitask or plan your breakfast, preparation your breakfast from A to B. I went through all of that horror. All of it, in a full range. I had a full-blown mold infection, which almost cost me my life. And I was lucky, by coincidence, to get to this man in Mexico. Imagine Bali and Mexico, right? It's not very usual route. But, well, I went to Kofi, and Kofi had worked with mold. And he said, well, look, I suspect that, so let me check it. Within 3 minutes he had it. I had the worst type of mold in my body and I had lots of it. To him it was clear. He mixed the herbs, some for the dampness and some for killing the mold, some for taking out the mycotoxicity. That's a big issue. If you kill all the mold without being able to remove the mycotoxicity, your brain will get even more paralyzed than you already have, and it will be a super bad healing crisis. So he knew how to mix those herbs to avoid that. And within 2 weeks, I was functioning like never. My depression was completely gone, regardless of that still unresolved situation in my life I was going through. And I was able to function, and here I am, like bright as ever, better than ever in my life than in my 18 years of age. Like everything's cool. Thanks to this, my beloved husband, using Kofi's formula with his permission, created this mold detox formula that we are having now as a part of our assortment. So it's another journey a disease can take you on. And I figured out, my goodness, I've been fighting and resisting this for so many years. Now that it's gone, I have enough with 3 and 4 hours of sleep. I am so highly productive and so thirsty for life, all of it at the same time. It's just like a blessing to have had this mold infection. Thank you, Allah, or whoever is there up there or wherever that is. It's just like you can be born anew. Just having gotten rid of mold in your system, a grain for thought. Maybe we have it. I mean, there's so many symptoms that could be a part of it. Okay, so now it's the round of questions about the body, about disease, whatever you would like to hear, and I could answer in a short time. Yeah.
I think I have this. I think I've had like mold allergies my whole life.
Oh, right.
I've had all the symptoms that you just described. And my ex-girlfriend thought maybe I had glandular fever or something.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and I've just been traveling for years and I've never stopped to address the issue.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, like what's the mold detox like how long does it go for? How many series of pills?
No, yeah. Mold detox is simple. Yeah. Actually, it's simpler than the rest of the detox you would be doing on your body. We usually combine herbs. You can take the mold detox herbs alone. Find your optimal dose. The optimal dose is the maximum that your body can handle for the fastest result. And the faster you go through it, the better. But sometimes it's too overwhelming for the body. And I'm talking about things like vomiting and diarrhea and headache and dizziness and weakness, fatigue. Well, my mold detox, it took me to the completely sick state for 3 days straight. I had to cancel everything. I was there. Forgive me to say, I won't go into details how it looked like technically, but it was like 3 days at home without able to do anything. You can avoid that. You can go slowly. You can just start a little bit and then raise the amount of capsules until it's optimum. You'll probably go for 3, then 4, then up to 6 capsules a day for about 4 weeks. That should be enough for your mold infection. Even if, I mean, I had it chronic. I had it since very, very many years, since the age of a child, and I had it really bad. It took a month, and I was mold-free after. And you can calculate that pack of mold herb has 90 capsules in it, so you will need 1 or 2. That's it. Very simple, actually. You have a lot of water. That's important, especially during detox, especially during mold detox. And move. Make sure to move your lymph. So additionally, how you can support your body is to support the ways of excreting lymph. That would be opening up the kidneys with a kidney cleanse and adding the lymph detox. And if your body is fatigued, you wouldn't go wrong with adding a tonic, like adrenal builder or life force or power tonic or immune support, right? Immune support. So one of these, choose what your body needs. Read the label, feel, do a kinesiological test on yourself. You'll find it out. Yeah, and it's always a good thing to increase the immunity. Probably the immune support will be the best one to go with a mold detox in general. It will raise your immunity and strengthen your whole body while you are going through this rather heavy process. And then, of course, the food, carbs, like avoid sugar and flour. Fruits are okay. Be on more veggie salads, soups, and well, why not chicken or fish? Just whatever supports your body best. And be ready to have it out within 4 weeks. Then, remember, your nervous system has been under super strain, and so has your brain been. So what I was doing, I was taking royal jelly, fresh royal jelly, which I again luckily and accidentally found in Taiwan airport on the way back from Mexico. I was taking that. I was taking vitamin B12, liposomal vitamin B12, the methylcobalamin, I believe, on my tongue orally. That's the best way to take the B12, which is for the nerves, like rebuild damaged nerves. It was expensive. It was about 90 Singapore dollars, which is about 70 US for a small little spray bottle, but that bottle lasted me through the whole thing. And I was taking wild cordyceps, which in general raised the function of my body. We have cordyceps in our adrenal builder. Cordyceps is not cheap, and we are not using the wild cordyceps. We're using the lab-made cordyceps, but it's a good option if you cannot get the wild cordyceps, and it really rebuilds the adrenals and does the whole system. So we're taking that. So for you, it will be your own recipe of what you take to rebuild that. We have the 2 formulas. We have Calm, which rebuilds the nervous system, and we have brain support, which we are renaming into mental focus, right? Something like that. Mental focus, that would be something that would bring your brain back to its normal function after having had mold toxicity there for a long, long time. I hope your questions are answered. That was not a one-word answer, unfortunately, as is not your health, but there we go.
Thank you. I think I have the tools for a comprehensive plan there. That feels good.
Remember, don't save those $90 Singapore dollars on that bottle of oral liposomal methylcobalamin. Don't take it. I mean, your health is the most important thing you have. I mean, you can stay without your high heels and sell your TV and be alive, but if you don't have your health, what is your life about? Lying there like a veggie in the bed and not able to deal with your children, that was my other option. So I opted for the maximum solution in the shortest time. And I do not regret, not one penny of that. Yeah, I would love to welcome other questions.
Yeah, I have one. Well, it's kind of a two-part question, really. So with the mold detox, for example, you mentioned brain fog as a symptom, but it's also a symptom of adrenal.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips for how you can kind of figure out which of the detox you need? And then the other question related to it is, can you take any and all of these at the same time? Or are there any that would be better to kind of stagger in order or that are contraindicated together?
I love your questions. Actually, that unplanned little training is coming together the right way. Thank you. That's the way to start. That's the way to go. Okay. First of all, if you have brain fog, you're likely to have both mold infection and adrenal fatigue, which are highly connected. Because adrenal fatigue is exactly the base why you have low immunity and why you can even allow this mold to grow in your body, why you have this super acidity in your body. It all starts from the adrenals, always, every time. So stress, remove stress, that's one thing. Heal what's beyond, what's below there, and I'll be mentioning that is the other. And then really work on your adrenals in the herbal way and in the supplement way. That's number 3, and I don't know which one is more important. I just can't tell. They're all at the same time, just as our herbs. And our herbs, you can combine everything and anything. I wouldn't go for more than 12 formulas at the same time. It would be too much information for the body. But on the other hand, in the Ayurvedic herbal mixes, you're talking about 150 herbs in one little bottle of Chyawanprash, right? So our herbs, we use altogether 150 ingredients for all of them. Each one usually would have like 8 to 12 ingredients, each one. So 12 different ones, like 3-4 capsules each, that's probably enough for you. And also it's sometimes good to change the herbs a little bit if you take the long programs, because the body will get used to certain things and they won't be as efficient in like 3-4 weeks of time anymore. So it's good to shift it a little bit, adjust it a little bit, take these ones and then take the others and they come back to these. But that's like already individual. That's got to do with a lot of feeling of how to put together the herbal programs, with some experience and with some own experience having taken those herbs. You learn a lot as you go. The main thing is to tune in and to feel what's going on, to tell the difference, what was and what is. It's important, the self-observation and self-awareness. It's something really important on your own healing journey, and also if you want to help others, you gotta have that. And then you can go through the herbs, and on your own experience, you can always adjust a little and take a little different route. You know how soccer is being played. It's not so straightforward, kick the ball straight into the gate. It's a bit different. Did I answer your question? Not all of it.
Yeah, but so you could take like a gut cleanse at the same time as something else, because that's... Okay. Actually, you do need more than one formula most of the time. So taking as an example the gut cleanse, you take one of the 3 formulas that we've developed, actually 4 formulas, which is most suited to you. That's number 1. And we have, as I mentioned, the adrenal builder, immune strength, power tonic, life force. And then we have the heal all, which is a very gentle version of building up your body. We have the living minerals to support the whole body, which contain a bit of shilajit, which is also a tonic. That's those secondary ones. And we have the endocrine health to improve the function of your whole endocrine system, which may be what you need in some cases. So you need a bit of knowledge of that, or a little bit of advice. Yeah, you can see that. Which to take?
You'll have to learn to find it out for yourself and for the others if you work with our herbs. But they're ways, that's the good thing. I personally use my knowledge
and then intuitive knowledge, because when you see a person, you see a lot of outer signs like little sacs under the eyes, or certain toxicity under the skin or in the tissue, or maybe a person is underweight or overweight, and the tone of their skin, and whether they've got wrinkles and at which age, the skin quality, pigmentation, many little things you can read from a person if you have worked with it a bit. And then it's the kinesiological testing. I personally use pendulum, and in our business camp we learn to find out with our body. You can pose a question, a yes and no question, and see how your body reacts. If you hold a pack of herbs in your hand and you say, is that good for me? And the body goes forwards, yes it is. If it goes backwards, no it's not. And then you can ask, do I need this? Because there's two different things, whether it's good for me in general or I need it now. So you just pose very exact certain questions about certain herbs, and then you can ask yourself questions about a combination of herbs and find out whether that's good for your body or maybe too overwhelming, and you find it out with your own body, how you react on that herbal information that you're introducing. Is it covered now?
Yeah, so you can do pretty much all of them together. There's nothing that you would avoid or skip.
Yes. No. Well, there is no contraindications, no wrong influence. They're really created as one family of formulas, how Hung called it. Any combination that makes sense. And somebody recently asked me, what if I take a tonic herb and a calming herb at the same time? You're good for you, because usually the nervous system is overstrained, and then instead of being over the top and overdoing things and going into bigger minus energy-wise, you can just take the calm and stay in this balanced space and use the new built energy for building up your inner resources. It's very important. So combine them as you need. I wouldn't take 4 tonics at the same time. That I would avoid. Just don't overdo. But otherwise, like in a sensible way, you can combine up to 12 herbs easily. And more you won't need. I mean, 12 herbs will more than cover what you need in the worst scenario. Yeah? Is there any other questions regarding food and health?
Yeah, I noticed you have formula for sleep.
We do.
I've been dealing with insomnia for several years.
Oh, that's long.
Can you address shortly the topic of sleep? How much is enough, and how to use this tonic, and what are the benefits?
Sleep is not an easy to solve matter. I have to warn you, our formula works, but it may not work for you, and not work 100% and not work alone. Especially in the case of long-term sleep problems, which are not related to only this little period of stress, it goes deeper. It goes to the matters of adrenal fatigue, that your body just pumps that cortisol day and night, non-stop. It got into the phase of just pumping that cortisol, adrenaline, and the next step is that you get burned out, because at some point all the cortisol that the adrenal glands have been able to produce is drained. They're no more able to work 24 hours a day. And meanwhile, your nervous system has been strained for many years. I mean, you have to work on your adrenals, you have to work on your nervous system and the acidity in your body, because it's a loop. The more acidity, the worse the adrenals are off. The worse the adrenals are off, the more acidity is in your body. You have to address both of these things at the same time. So I would say the full program: colon cleanse, kidney cleanse, liver cleanse, lymph detox. Add lymph detox. That's where your toxicity and acidity is starting to drain. And don't expect the result in 5 days. I mean, in 3 months you'll feel a big improvement, but that's important not to stop there, because to really exchange the whole lymph fluids of your whole body, which have been built up into this real serious container of sewage within many years. It will take 2 years to drain it. 2 years. I mean, 2 years. I'll talk about lymph later. It's important not to stop where your symptoms get 30% better, which we all do as we were trained by the doctor and by how we've treated our body before. It's important to go to the end of the road. to the blossoming, radiant health, where you are rejuvenated by 10 to 20 years and starting your life anew. I mean, what does it make sense to like patch yourself up to the point that you can again go and push yourself to the point that you're falling? No, that's not how a human life is intended to be. We are free beings with amazing potential to create. And maybe if we free up enough of our resource, we can sit down and look around and see where am I, where was I at, what is it all about, and how can I go, how can I get even more quality out of what this beautiful life offers. It's a different space. Maybe you'll have so much energy that you can create your own meaningful, purposeful business if you want. It's just like all about the energy and life force and inspiration and brightness and good feeling in your body. All about that, to create a base of big things to happen in your life. And each one of us could go for that instead of being slaving away in our corporate jobs to pay our bills. Think about it twice, really, many times, until you're really there to be yearning for that freedom, and that you can achieve if you really go the way in terms of your health. Because health does not only contain absence of disease, it's like a radiant state where you can freely act with full energy, where you have space for the family, for the romantic relationship within your partnership, for the work, for the leisure, for your hobbies, for the household, for making beautiful energy around you in your home, for inspiring other people, for hanging out with other people. For goodness sakes, who of us spend enough time with our friends? There's so much to life, and you can fit it all in one single beautiful life, which has exactly 24 hours every day for each one of us. I'm telling you from my own experience, when your body is ready to live, the life will start, really. And for that, you remove the hurdles and you strengthen yourself. Very simple, it's nothing else you need to do. You need to know how to and have it as your priority, have the right information and invest enough. Definitely, our herbs are not cheap if you're talking about our herbs. And keep on going. Have your goal, focus on it, and go to the end of the road. That's the way. That's the only way I know. Maybe there are other ways. Maybe there's a magic. Maybe there's a magician and a magic pill, and a perfect solution which you pay for. Take it, and the next day everything's changed. I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe you know. Share that. It's important for everybody to know. My way is the slow way, the way I've learned. But it has worked in my case. And I've seen it work in many, many people's case. And it's actually very rewarding when all your environment turns to you and say, hey, what's going with you? Have you fallen in love or something? Look how you are shining. What are you doing different? And you say, oh, I've been 3 months on the herbal cleanse. Yeah, I mean, I've heard these testimonials. I mean, it's a truth about our herbs. I just know they work that way. But it's the matter of like really getting that program together knowledgeably and having it in your house, and then taking those herbs while supporting your body with the right nutrition, exercise, and inner healing. And that's important part, that inner healing. Before I go into that matter of that inner healing, is there any other questions regarding the physical aspect of it? No?
Oh, one very simple one.
Yeah.
Do you recommend taking them with or without food?
Oh yeah, that's important. We recommend taking them with a lot of water and a little snack. And the best is like a banana. The worst that you can do is to take the bottled or packed orange juice. That has like counter effect to most of the herbs at all, you know. Citrus, no, it's about orange juice. Even grapefruit juice or lemon juice in water would not have the same effect. the bottled orange juice. Some people go so far as to say that even the fresh orange juice has the same effect. I don't think so. I think it's the matter of having those, you know, they make it with peels and the inside and all, and then they pasteurize it, and there's maybe chemicals. I don't know what it is. Just the orange juice for the bottle is a no when you deal with herbs. But otherwise, just take a fruit or a piece of bread or something, because otherwise those herbs will irritate your intestinal lining and also stomach lining. They're very intense. They're concentrated. I mean it. 10-to-1 extracts. If you mix them in a glass of water, you'll see what kind of substance you get. Make an experiment. And then there's this, of course, these capsules itself, the cellulose capsules, which need to be dissolved. It's a bit of new information for a stomach. So then one more is important. That exactly. Actually, the colon and colon plus you'll be only taking with meals, with large meals. They have cloves, and these are very irritating on the gut. And then there is one more, intestine broom, which you will be only taking between meals with water only. That's important because it's got the activated charcoal and the bentonite clay, and those don't mix well with anything else. You won't be adding other herbs, just intestine broom with water between meals. It's when you start cleaning the mucus out of your small intestine.
So no other herbal formulas with that?
No vitamin C, no other herbal formulas, no orange juice, and no any other juice and any fruits. Just water between meals.
At the same time, or throughout the, like you could take intestine broom on its own and then take a different formula later in the day?
Yeah, that's true. You take all your formulas except for the intestine broom at one time of the day, and then you take intestine broom all alone without other herbs another time of day. That really works. No problem with that. Okay, we're covering a lot. Thanks to your questions.
Just said those logistical details are important.
Yeah, and they are. And it's good to put it together with like a piece of little puzzle. That's how we can absorb better. That's very important. I suggest another break, but this time really 5 minutes. I won't be going around coughing. I'll just take a little something to soothe my throat. We resume at exactly